All right. That's rolling. That's rolling. This is rolling. Voncast show. Jae Real, how's it going, man?
How's it going, man? I'm good.
Good, doing good, good. So for those of you who don't know, Jae Real is a rapper, very talented one. Let's get into it. So let's start from the beginning. What are your earliest memories of hip hop?
My earliest memories of hip hop, it basically started because as a child, I was always around what my parents listened to, which was like late '80s rock, soft rock. Over time, I developed a love for pop music, and as listening to pop music, it just gave me a certain ear and taste for music that eventually later on, while I was flipping through channels, I remember this back in 2001 when I was flipping through channels. I wasn't really into MTV at the time, but as soon as I saw I think it was the VMAs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it was the VMAs. It was that Eminem performance where he had all those Slim Shadys, following him. And the very first song that got me into Eminem and into hip hop was "The Way I Am" from the Marshall Mathers LP. Mm-hmm. He performed it that same night,
right? And
I ended up seeing the music video not that long after, maybe a few weeks down the road.
Yeah.
And I ended up secretly, I was 13 at the time, by the way. I ended up secretly buying the album. Mm-hmm. I was really into it, and later on, eventually decided I love hip hop. It introduced me to the past and present of hip hop, and every style of hip hop that was just around that time. I just learned to take it all in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, I'd say Eminem is a good gateway rapper because he does respected his predecessors before him.
Yeah.
And he's a very technical, lyrical rapper.
Yeah.
So let's see. Around that time in the radio, I think West Coast was like dominating at the time. I think around the Marshall Mathers LP, because Chronic 2001 came around that time, I believe.
Yeah, it did.
I mean, a good amount of Chronic 2001 songs were on the radio. Next Episode, Forgot About Dre.
The ones that pretty much still play today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Eminem was your first, man. Yeah, for me it was one of the big ones. I got into him around Slim Shady LP, but Marshall Mathers LP was like when I really got into him.
Yeah.
So were your parents cool with that? You listening to Marshall Mathers LP?
No. They I mean, at first they're like, cool. He got a new artist that he likes to listen to, but they've been hearing about Eminem all over the news. Remember around that time he was always on the news because of his content.
Yeah, right.
It was, the troublemaker music at the time.
Yeah.
So I remember them confiscating my very first copy. Mm-hmm. I just came home and I didn't know where it was.
Damn.
I was like, I asked them, and they are denying it. Mm-hmm. They denied it. I think they'll admit it now. But they were denying it at the time, and I'm like, no, this can't be. They've been lecturing me about this kind of music all this time. I know they took it. Later on, I ended up, buying another copy, but I had to be real sneaky about it, and I ended up I took it and I started burning several copies of it, and then
Smart.
Yeah, pretty much. But they never knew that I got another copy.
That's dope. See, for me, I had to dub it on tape. I let my friend let me borrow the CD.
Yeah.
My parents weren't home. I put it in the music sound system and I put it on cassette. I was not allowed to get parental advisory content music.
Yeah.
I remember I tried to get my mom to buy me Jay-Z's Life and Times Volume 3.
Yeah.
She wouldn't let me. I was crying outside the CD store. I was so sad. I was making a fit, man. I was like,
were you really?
I was crying, man.
Wow.
I was trying to get it. And like, well, maybe my friend can burn it for you. Never happened. But it was crazy at the time, I think, because around this time, Columbine happened already? Columbine happened.
Yeah, it was around that time, yeah.
Yeah. Are you familiar with the fighting game Rival Schools?
No.
It was a fighting game which pretty much schools fought each other. Mm-hmm. My stepmom made me give that game away, and also my friend was not allowed to play Metal Gear Solid or Resident Evil, any games with guns for a while.
I see.
So, take it around the same age. So early 2000s was like where it was at.
Yeah.
Who else were you listening to in early 2000s?
Jay-Z. And regardless of, the beef, I also liked Ja Rule at the time.
Jay-Z and 50. Yeah, me too. It was tough, man, because I I like Jae Real's music. My parents like Jae Real. And I think they just came on like, yo, this guy's
Yeah.
whack. He's a wankster.
I love them both.
Me
Like,
too.
regardless of the beef, I love them both.
Yeah. It was a mistake for Jae Real to go up against Eminem. After that, I was like, you know what, man? Dude, you're done.
Yeah,
not
pretty
you're done, but it's like, man, that's tough. You know, you mentioned like someone's daughter's name.
Oh, yeah.
That
was just foul right there.
Yeah.
That was foul.
And when Cameron had that line about like something about condoms in the backseat of Nas's car or something, even Jay Cameron did that, and Jay's like, yo, that's out of line kind of shit. But yeah, man, that was just like a good rap beef era.
Yeah.
It was Jay-Z versus Nas.
50, Ja Rule, Eminem, Benzino.
Yeah, oh my god. Dude, Benzino got handled.
Oh,
I mean, the Source was like, lost its credibility after that.
Yeah.
Because Source was owned by Benzino partially, and they just put a slander on Eminem, and it's like, dude, this is not the Bible anymore. That was double XL for a bit.
Yeah.
But, so, yeah, man, so let's take it back, dude. Like, what do you remember about, that era, early 2000s hip-hop? What like, sticks out to you?
What sticks out to me is the place I was in, the people I was around. These songs. Every time I hear these songs today, it takes me back to that age, that environment,
right,
my surroundings,
right.
And at the time I was just really, really passionate. You know, I grew to be really passionate. It inspired me to start writing. And at the time, it's like I didn't expect that I was going to go this far with it, but the writing became an addiction afterwards.
Yeah. So you started writing first?
Yeah, I started writing.
Who did you try to like? I mean, when we all start rap.
Yeah.
We all start rapping. There's this one artist that we always kind of gravitate towards. Who was that artist for you?
Well, at the time, during my amateur days, I was not capable of sounding like, Eminem. I remember when I was young, that's what I wanted to sound like. If anything, what I sounded more like when I was younger, I sounded more like Mike Shinoda.
Okay.
I sounded more like that when I was younger, and over time, I just kind of branched off of that.
Yeah. So for me, it was I like Cash Money a lot. My first rap CD was Lil Wayne. My cousin gave me The Block Is Hot.
Yeah.
I mean, I had big Will Smith, but it didn't count. But I gravitated towards Lil Wayne before he became big, and Cash Money. But yeah, man. So like. Well, do you have any early rap names that you had? Was it always Jae Real? I'll show you mine. I'll show you mine. Tell me mine. I'll tell you. Tell me yours. I'll tell you mine.
Okay. Back when I was in high school, I never got my name until I was like my freshman year in high school. I was going to a private school at the time. Okay. And everybody there, for some reason, used to call me Little Ninja. Ninja. As much as I cringe and laugh about it now it's like back then I remember I embraced it and I took it. I took it, and I ended up, making small projects and just like handing them off at school.
I was Young Flip.
Young Flip.
Y-U-N-G.
Hey.
That was some like screen name stuff. Yeah, man. So like around that time, what did you use to record with? I mean, there wasn't obviously no SoundCloud at the time. What did you use?
What I had back then, I didn't even have a mic like that. Remember those little thin, those narrow computer mics? Yeah. It worked. Yes. It worked. I remember, but before that, what I did at first was, I used to have a little tape recorder back when cassettes still, were still being used. Right. I used to just record in the bathroom, but over time it's like, yeah, this sounds terrible. So I ended up using the computer, the mic on the computer, but I had to get a software for it. So I ended up getting whatever the cheapest one was. I remember it was called Magic's Music Maker. I was at Best Buy one time and I spotted it. Yeah. It was like $60. I'm like, I'll take it. $60. Yes. Damn. Yeah. I've been just recording on that. And I did what I could with it, and I was able to just, hand out copies of my work at school. That's cool. I mean, you had that mentality. Was it CD? You burned CDs and did it? Yeah, burned CDs. I even had like a CD labeler. Oh my gosh. Even though like it wasn't the most professional looking thing at the time. It's like it pointed me out, Yeah, I mean at the time, if you had a burner, you're like you're kind of popular. Oh, burn me these songs, burn me that song. Burners weren't very accessible back then. I mean, it's amazing how
how technology is so readily available for us to record.
Yeah.
I mean, the setup you have, the setup I have, that would be like only people who have a lot of money or connections, or like rappers would have this equipment.
Yeah.
Damn, so you're passing out music that early. That's pretty good, man.
Yeah. I was like, I was about 13, 14 at the time.
Wow. That's pretty good, man. I mean, I wasn't even doing that. I was like freestyling or passing anything out.
Oh man, I was just all about, I was all about just creating content, handing it out back then.
Did you give it out for free, or people bought it?
For free.
For free. That's good.
Yeah.
That's smart. What kind of beats did you rap over?
Just
Whatever.
Just whatever, like pretty much just a boom bap type of beats. I had a few R&B tracks because I remember I used to make a lot of love songs back in high school. So hey. I did a lot of R&B stuff as well.
So around that time, did you ever watch Freestyle Fridays, BET?
No, I didn't.
You didn't?
No.
So I was gonna say, like, did Jin ever have any impact on you making music?
No.
Asian guy? No.
No, I respected him. He never really impacted me, but I had a lot of respect for him whenever I did happen to see him.
I was watching BET Freestyle Fridays, and I saw this Asian kid go up against predominantly African Americans in freestyle battles, and I bugged out. Oh my god, it's so crazy! That's me on TV. I see me on TV. And I bought a Rough Rider chain and everything.
I did too. Yeah, I did.
Because of Jin?
No, because of DMX.
Okay. I mean, yeah, DMX too. X was fire. Dragon, Eve, all those dudes. But I got one at the mall. But to me, it was crazy, man. You sounded like Mike Shinoda back then.
Yeah.
Did him being Asian have an impact? Oh shit! Like I kind of see myself in him, kind of thing.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't about what his ethnicity or his background was. It was I actually liked the way he sounded.
Yeah. Mike Shinoda, was he still in Linkin Park at the time?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That was Linkin Park. Yeah, he could rap. I mean, his rhymes in was it Crawling and all those in the end, like those are good.
Yeah.
They were good. I mean, like you look back, this guy's a lyricist. You know. So what were your friends and family's reaction? Hey, I rap. Were they like? Did they kind of like mock it? Did they support you? Or like,
during which time when I
first started?
When I first started? Oh no, they my family was as far as my family was concerned, they were like, "You're very talented, but can you please stop cussing?" They just didn't like the profanity, but that's
dope, man.
Yeah. My friends loved it. My friends loved it at the time.
Yeah, man. For me, it was kind of mixed because at the time, you didn't hear of too many Asian rappers.
Yeah.
The only Asian rapper in you is that Got Rice, bitch. Got Rice.
Yeah.
Remember that song?
I remember
That's the only
that.
Asian person you knew.
remember that.
Yeah. Tie My Shoe, I think his name was.
Tie My Shoe?
Yeah, that was his name. And it wasn't even in YouTube. Where do we find this stuff?
It was like Napster.
Napster, yeah.
Yeah.
For me, it was different because like when you were rapping at the time and you were not African American, like, oh, you're trying to sound black. You're trying to be black. It never came up for you?
No.
Really?
That was...
You're fortunate.
Yeah.
People like really question, oh, you can't rap. Like, you're not black. Or you're not...
Yeah, I've never had anyone approach me like that.
Yeah. So, Eminem fan.
Yes.
I am too. What did 8 Mile do for you? Did it make you like, yo...
Oh, that was inspiring.
Yeah.
That was just on a whole new level inspiring. That's, that made me believe in greater possibilities. Mm-hmm. That made me believe that, okay, this dream is not just a hobby. This can happen. Mm-hmm. It was one of those things. Yeah,
it was. I've only seen it once, and I leaned to see it once. It was just crazy because did you ever get into battle rapping? Were you ever?
No. I was never into battle rapping.
I tried my hand at it for a little bit, and I definitely been there. I was choked, but it's just really good, like inspiring because this guy didn't come off as like the best.
Of course.
He came up in like more humble upbringing.
Yeah.
He's the only white person there, but like, dude, just him, beating Papa Doc and his crew.
Yeah. And
just getting the crowd to like approval. You know. So I like the underdog story.
Yes.
That was pretty cool, man. So let's see, where are we at? So you're making music, you're rapping. Any particular message you tried to convey? Were you all about the meaning, metaphors, the punches?
Well, when it all comes down to it, when you listen to my music, you pretty much can see that this music is about the average man from the suburbs, trying to figure out life.
Right.
Trying to figure out relationships. Basically, trying to figure out where he belongs in this world.
Because I listened to your music. I guess I never got into the message. I just was very fascinated with your rhyme scheme.
Yeah.
Your breath control. It's pretty good. I heard your verse for the Cypher Africa. I'm like, this guy's good, man.
Thank you.
Like you were able to rhyme like almost all the verses. You're like the last two.
Yeah.
The last two words. It just seemed very seamless. Was that one take or like was it like did you punch in or was it all like?
That was all one take.
Damn. You gotta teach me after this. But dude, see that's a skill, man. Like I think a lot of it is breath control. Because a lot of times when you rap as an artist, it sounds so good in your head.
Yeah, definitely.
But then when you rap, it's like, all right, didn't sound that good. But so where did you learn how to rap like that? I mean, who do you look up to that made you want to rap in that certain format, like your rap style? Not the meaning so much, but
as far as where my cadence is today. Yeah. Well, that's something I developed over time. Mm-hmm. Well, I was obviously my flow was all obviously inspired by Eminem, but at the same time, there are certain features of it that I originally came up with just experimenting and writing.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, it's Eminem. I think people in our generation, that's the person we look up to.
Yeah.
Because he can rap different cadences.
Yeah.
Fast forwarding a little bit, since we're talking about Eminem, how do you feel about his new projects?
As far as his new projects, I thought it was okay. I mean, it got a bad rap, but I thought it was all right. I'll admit, not his best work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I haven't listened to the whole thing, so it's hard for me to really, I don't know, judge it.
Yeah.
But I like his slow rap.
Yeah.
I'd say that his fast rap, he's definitely challenging himself.
Mm-hmm.
Rap God, that was awesome.
Yeah.
I've heard the slow rap, but hey, he's doing his thing.
Yeah.
The fact that he's making music when he doesn't have to, it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So, what's your creative process when you're writing music? Is the beat first?
I have so many different ones.
Mm-hmm. What's the favorite one you go to?
Here's one of them. When I hear a beat, what I immediately think of is, okay, if this were a movie scene, what would be going on right now?
Oh wow! I never thought of that.
I would listen to a beat and I would try to envision what would be going on if I was to direct a movie to this song.
Right.
And then I would write from there. Sometimes I would even write from a first person point of view, as if it was happening right now. I would be talking to whoever it is I'm sending this message out to. Other times it would be like before I even hear a beat. Sometimes there's something on my mind. Like that's the kind of person I am. My mind just keeps running. I just can't stop thinking about things. Good things, bad things, happy things, sad things, whatever it is that I'm feeling, I immediately just write it down. And when I find a beat to it, I, pretty much reformat it to fit the beat's, rhythm, and then and give it a cadence along with the beat.
Do you write the hook first, or you write verses? Or
it all depends what comes to me first. These are things that whatever comes first, immediately put it down. Right.
Because one song that really stuck out to me in particular that you made was the one where you talked about like homelessness, or like a homeless man.
Yeah, All I Have.
That was like, wow, that's pretty true. We kind of take for granted what we have sometimes.
Yeah.
And you have someone who has less fortunate.
Yes.
And you put yourself in that position. What made you think of that?
I had a dream about it.
Really?
It was a dream that there was a time when I was taking a lot of things, in my life for granted. My job, I used to complain about it a lot. I used to complain that, there were friends that that wouldn't talk to me anymore, but they all kept in touch with each other. There were, times where I would be complaining about even small things like what's in the pantry? What are we about to eat? I pretty much say it all in the song.
Yeah.
There was a lot of things where I pretty much complained about life, and then one night I just I went to sleep, and I ended up having a dream where I literally had nothing. My dream started off when I was at a 7-Eleven, just sitting at the front. I didn't, and nobody I knew was around, and every day I had no choice but to rely on somebody to care, but it was very common that nobody did. And the dream ended when I was walking to an underpass when it started raining.
Wow.
And when I woke up, I just saw it. What I saw was that was pretty much a glimpse that God gave me, saying you have it way better than you think, and that's what really, really changed my mind at the time.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, that one really stuck out to me, and that was pretty cool. So let's see where we at. So talk about the projects you've done so far. Are there like any ones that really stand out to you, or?
I've only put out two. One in 2013 called "Metal to Metal." I remember at the time it was around the time I was also making a lot of party music. It was a lot talked a lot about the lack of support that I was dealing with at the time. You know, I felt strongly about that, especially when I wasn't getting support from people I cared about the most.
Yeah.
I used to talk about, bad, relationships that ended bad for me. That was pretty much the whole album. I was just speaking on a lot of things that happened in my personal life that really, really affected me and really, became a turning point in my life.
Yeah. So I noticed that you talk about like not getting support or friends not being there.
Yeah.
I have that recurring theme in some of my music too, because I don't know, we're around the same age, we're a little older than like most people think.
Yeah.
People tend to grow apart, you know, and I used to have a hard time accepting that, but I think now people grow apart. It's not a bad thing. It's not a good thing. It just happens.
Yeah.
How are you able to kind of overcome that? I mean, like we'd have, for me, we had like a close set of friends. Yeah. And over time, we're best friends for life kind of thing. Over time, people just kind of did their own thing, and I didn't take that to them. Oh, what happened? What's wrong with this kind of thing?
It just kept happening to the point where I just grew numb to it.
Yeah.
Eventually, like when the older you get, the things that affected you maybe, a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, it means nothing now. So like over time, it was just a growing process for me.
Right.
So that's why like when people would say that I would, contradict myself in later songs, it's more like if you listen to my music during its time periods, you would understand my growth process.
Right. Yeah.
Sometimes, your mind, I had to mature as an artist to realize that this isn't how it works.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, a lot of times I never got too much support, but I just try not to let it get to me too much. To keep grinding and everything. So, what obstacles have you faced so far as a musician, and how are you able to overcome those?
Obstacles? It was just being by conflict between my 9 to 5 and chasing this dream. I was always tired. I was always very tired. I didn't really get recognized I'd say the first 3 years that I was doing this. It was a whole lot of, the only way I was able to overcome it was to go balls out and just keep trying, keep pushing, and learn from my mistakes, learn from things that I failed at. If this didn't work, you probably shouldn't do that again. Maybe you should go this direction. It was more like I had to learn how to carry myself as an artist to be able to figure out what I'm going to do next. That's why every year I had a different plan, because one didn't work, I had to go the other way. One way or another, I told myself, I'm not going to give up.
That's good. And it's tough. It's crazy, man. You go through life, well, not through life, but like since you started rapping, you and I have started rapping. Yeah. We've seen a lot of friends who rap and they don't do it anymore.
Yeah, I've seen many of those, and I've seen many that still do.
Yeah. And nothing wrong with that. That's cool. It's just interesting that. Yeah. Like what year did you start rapping? 2000.
It was 2001. But as far as making moves, trying to market myself, I would say 2011.
Wow. Yeah. I think it's a longevity thing. You gotta ride it out. I think that with I don't know, we have a lot of high expectations. What we see on TV, man. Like I think especially now more than ever, since there's Instagram and social media, a lot of times you can tend to judge your progress or how good you are by the numbers. Social media likes and comments. Yeah. And it's kind of tough at first, but then you realize, wait, a lot of times people, there's a possibility people can buy friends,
Yeah, of course.
likes and ads.
Of course.
So it gives me kind of hope, but I really do think that I don't know. You shouldn't let that deter you if you don't have like as much numbers. As long as you stay consistent, you'll get there.
What I learned, is don't pay attention to the likes.
Mm-hmm.
Just appreciate the fact that you get them. Don't pay attention to the
that.
views. Appreciate the fact that you get them.
Yeah.
You don't compare yourself to how many somebody else has.
Mm-hmm.
Just appreciate the fact that you get it.
Yeah, that's true. Because it's tough sometimes. We tend to compare ourselves to other artists, and you realize you gotta stay in your own lane.
Yeah, of course.
Because that person is worried about themselves, and you should be worried about yourself, kind of doing your own thing. And that's
you only stress yourself out if you worry about things that are beyond your control.
Mm-hmm.
Just appreciate the respect that you do get. Appreciate the support that you do get.
Yeah.
Appreciate the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fans that you do get.
Yeah.
And it's like a seed. Let it grow.
Mm-hmm.
You just planted it. Don't expect a flower right away.
Right. Yeah, I think that's very true. There's a Gary Vee quote. He said something about a lot of people have ambition.
Yeah.
A good amount of people have talent, but not very many people have patience.
Yeah.
A lot of times people quit early on just because they don't get a certain amount of likes or whatever they do doesn't reach expectations. So I definitely agree that patience is key.
The more patient you are, the less you'll be disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like lack of patience. He said it best. Lack of patience leads to bad behavior.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
That's true. It's very true. Are there any songs that you've made so far that are your favorites and why?
Wow, you know what? That's a good one. I've made so many within the recent months.
Mm-hmm.
I would have to say, so far it's been my song "Cross Your Mind," which is, by the way, on Spotify.
Nice.
And stream that. I was able to break barriers because there was for that I was doing a lot of dark music, a lot of the last things that I just wanted to vent out, the last things that I wanted to express, my dark the dark feelings. But after a while, I started to develop this feel good type of vibe in the recent music that I've been doing.
Right.
And then when I put out "Cross Your Mind," it shocked a lot of people because it showed a different side of me.
Mm-hmm.
So it was that song through that song I was able to show people a different side of me that they obviously started to love.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you're singing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna.
Yeah, cross your mind. Yeah.
Because I didn't know you sang. I'm like, I saw that. I'm like, oh shit, you can sing too.
Yeah.
And that's a really good talent to have, man. To rap and to be able to sing, it's good to have, especially now. So, you and I came up as lyricists, the people we looked up to, we idolized, we emulated at the beginning. Lyricists, man, you had the Eminem's, Tech Nines, Lloyd Banks. In our time, Fat Joe's, Fabulous, Outkast.
That was our era, man.
Mike Jones. It's crazy, man. People used to clown Cameron and Jewels and Dipset back then, and now oh man, that was real hip hop. That's kind of funny,
Yeah.
But it's I'm sure you've noticed this, but I feel that mainstream hip hop in general has tended to kind of shift away from lyricism.
Mm-hmm.
It's more melodic now. It's more catchy. It's more of a vibe than meaning.
Yeah.
Someone who is a lyricist, how do you react to that? Do you kind of go with it, or do you kind of say, "F that, I'm gonna do my own thing"?
I'm gonna do my own thing. I mean, I have my respect for it because every generation has something different to offer.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, think about it. Back in our day, I remember when our parents used to say, "This is not even music. This is talking music."
Right. Yeah.
Now we looking at these kids and it's this is not even rapping. That's why I kind of step back from judging what these new kids are doing, and I started to respect it because there was a time when that was us, but in a different way.
Well said.
Yeah,
I agree because hip hop and a lot of this music is youth driven, and
mm-hmm.
we're not exactly as youthful as we were.
Oh yeah.
So we can't really judge, and you're right because people say back in the day hip hop was a social message and consciousness, and
yeah.
When we were growing up, no, it's not. It's about drugs, rapping, drugs, sex, and killing people.
Yes, that's what I always had to deal with hearing.
It's yeah, but no. And it's crazy because back then it was cool to sell drugs. now it's cool to use drugs.
Yeah.
And it's interesting
Like-
how the older generation blames, oh man, y'all using drugs. But then it's like, dude, y'all was talking about selling drugs. I don't know
Yeah.
what's worse, you know?
Like as far as what they talk about, I don't condone it.
I don't condone it, yeah.
I don't condone it. But at the same time, it's
your
like
life.
who am I to judge? Because we had. It's not like our generation didn't have its flaws.
Mhm.
Our generation had its flaws. You know.
Yeah, definitely. So, let's see. Who are your top MCs? I don't want to make you do a list. It's really tough to list them. But who are your favorite MCs?
Well, you already know the first one.
Eminem.
My second one would have to be Jay-Z.
Why is
I
that?
was always. I just loved his music.
Mhm.
I just simply loved it. And, you know, I was always having a good time to it.
Mhm.
It was one of those. That was my feel good vibe.
Right.
You know, back in the early 2000s.
Mhm.
You know, all the way till Biggie, because it was just impressive.
Oh
that,
yeah.
Yeah, you know,
His style.
none of his stuff was written.
Really?
Yeah.
He never read.
No.
Really?
No, it was like, you know, he
Thought it-
probably memorized,
Mhm.
but you know, I liked Biggie, and then there's Tupac, and then there's Nas.
Of course. Tupac, Nas. Who? Okay, so back to the beef thing. Jay-Z and Nas. Who do you think won?
That's the obvious one. Nas did.
Yeah. I feel Nas won. It's just Jay-Z had like that charisma,
Yeah.
like a mainstream charisma. I mean, I agree Nas won, but I think
But Jay-Z was still, you know,
yeah,
selling.
Jay-Z carried like I think Jay-Z has a very business mindset,
Yeah.
but Nas is still. I mean, Nas,
Nas
is
was
still
more
dope.
like a competitive lyricist.
Yeah, I mean Nas was amazing. I mean like Ether.
Yeah.
Was crazy. Yeah, that was dope.
Yeah.
So let's see. So, do you have any rappers you listen to that are of this generation?
Logic.
Logic.
I'm not gonna lie, I do listen to Cardi B a lot.
Cardi B's fire.
Yeah, I
man.
like Cardi B.
I like her. I think what's going on with today's musicians or rappers, it's more of a personality thing
Yeah.
than music. I think with social media, it lets the audience see like a different side of the artist that we weren't able to see when we were younger because there was no social media. We're kind of mysterious. Now they're on Twitter, social media, Instagram.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
Let me see. Of today's artists, obviously Kendrick, Drake. I like Drake.
Drake is good. Very good.
J. Cole. J. Cole, hands down.
J. Cole.
Because a lot of my newer content that I'm working on right now, it's reminiscent of J. Cole.
I like Logic. I like his Rat Pack mixtapes.
Oh yeah.
I like him lyrical and lyricism and stuff.
Yeah.
The bars. This stuff's good. I haven't listened to it too much. So, what made you want to cover or do a remix to Gucci Gang?
To Gucci Gang.
That was pretty dope, by the way.
I like the beat. I like the beats that are out today. I love them.
Me too.
I love today's beats.
Yeah, I think something as someone who wants to kind of stay relevant, almost, you kind of have to not hop on trends, but you kind of have to see what's up and kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to necessarily rap like them.
Yeah.
But if you can kill the beat, their beats with your style, that's a win.
Of course. Introduce these new school kids to how I would do it if this was a track from my era.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
And I did that. I also did
Get the bag.
I Get the Bag.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that beat.
That's pretty good. That was pretty good, man.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice for up and coming rappers? Like, hey, I want to rap. What do I do? How do I get better? Who should I listen to?
Focus only on your craft.
Mm-hmm.
Never give up, no matter what happens or what makes you feel a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
Just keep pushing. Don't pay attention to any negativity, and don't let people's silent, treatment get to you, because that's what gets to a lot of people nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
When they don't get the appreciation, a lot of them quit. And there are times where I'll admit there's many times where I felt so unappreciated that I wanted to quit. But the only reason why I'm still in it today because I love it too much to give it up.
That's good, man.
And if you love something, you'll just naturally keep going.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't love it, then what are you doing it for?
Right. I mean, I never thought about the money thing, so a love for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, same here. It's like the rapping. It's like I get like high from like rapping to a beat.
Yeah.
You know, freestyle or written. Freestyle. You're a pretty good freestyler. When did you start freestyling?
I'm not that good.
I freestyle with you. You're pretty good, dude.
When did I start freestyling?
Yeah.
It was 2012 when I was that's when I started going to these shows. I used to perform a lot at the Basement 818. I think it's not even there anymore. Yeah. But I used to be at those events every weekend, and everybody I was around was freestyling. And at the time, I didn't, I was too nervous to freestyle, but whatever. I was drunk enough to do it. I would just like, I would go in and realize, like maybe I'm not that good at this, but I'm not bad either. Yeah. So I was like, okay, let me just jump in these circles. Every time they had a circle, it was an opportunity for me to practice.
I like that. Yeah, man, because I felt like back then, I don't know if it's really a necessity now, you had to know how to freestyle to be like a rapper. Because
of course.
I don't know how it is now, but back then, you rap, spit something right now.
Yeah.
You get called on the spot. I don't know how it is now. Oh, check out my SoundCloud.
Yeah, nowadays nobody really asks you to spit a freestyle,
Yeah. I mean, you can rap, you're written, but it's like, okay, rap about the surroundings kind of thing.
Now everybody just says spit something.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Spit something.
Yeah, spit something, like right now. Let's see. Do you have any new projects or any material we should be looking out for?
Right now, what I'm always putting out, covers, 16-bar tracks every week. I'm going to be dropping new songs on SoundCloud. But what I'm working on right now is my upcoming mixtape. It's called Long Way to Go.
Mm-hmm. Any like theme for that? What's it about?
It's pretty much a theme from what I'm talking about in that song is where do I go from here? All around. As kind of like concluding what I said about what my music is normally about. The average working man from the suburbs trying to figure out life. It's like, okay, this is what I like. Here's my checkpoint. Here's what I figured out about life so far. Here's what I'm learning about it. Here's a situation that taught me about it. Where do I go from here?
Yeah. So, question with music. So, it can be kind of seen as entertainment. What's your opinion on people who rap about something that's not not real? Like they rap about the gangster stuff, or it's like they rap about selling drugs, but it's not really them. Do you think that's like it's fair because entertainment? You're writing from like a fictional perspective, or what do you think?
I say write whatever you want to make music about, but at the end of the day, you're held accountable. Mm-hmm. Because people can fake talking about a gangster life in a song, but I'm not going to judge them for it. I'll be like, you go ahead and do you. But the people who do live that life, are going to be on your ass about it.
Mm-hmm. And it's interesting because actresses, they don't get judged that way, right? Yeah. Joe Pesci, I don't know his real name. I just know him Joe Pesci, or like all the people who played the like mob movies. You're not seen as like gangsters in real life. I don't know what, and if that's a form of entertainment alone, I was wondering like with hip hop, like it's seen as entertainment, but it's kind of like should be from the heart. Yeah. So it's interesting how to kind of say that. Anything else you want to talk about, man? Any other like projects or like any?
Nah, just a long way to go. I'm about to drop. I'm working on a new single called "Girl at the Coffee Shop." Mm-hmm. You guys are gonna love that. It should be dropping within the next 2 months. Mm-hmm. Other than that, keep an eye out for every single one of my releases on SoundCloud and on Spotify on a weekly basis. Mm-hmm. I also do once in a while a episode of Real 16s. I'll drop 16 bars, and once in a while have a feature in it.
Right.
So every week you'll see me actively doing something.
That's dope, man.
Follow me on social media, at IamJaeReal on Instagram, and check me out on SoundCloud, JaeReal, Jae Real.
Okay, and you also have video footage, right? Like a visual content out there.
Yes, lots of visual content.
How important do you think that is now, this day and age that everyone has YouTube and everything?
This is a very visual content. This is a very visual generation. So, whatever visuals you can possibly be able to create, by all means, share it with the world. Mm-hmm. Because you can put out songs, but what worked for me a lot was putting out a lot of videos.
When did you realize that the videos were working?
When I came out with like 2 or 3 of them, and you know, the responses that I was getting from them compared to the songs themselves without the video, that's when I realized, okay, the songs are doing okay, but the videos are taking them to another level. You know, I'm getting a lot of good feedback. I'm getting a lot of criticism, and at the same time, I'm getting a lot of compliments about it, and I appreciate them all the same way because it always helps me to improve.
Right, right. I also noticed a trend with this music. Songs are getting shorter.
Yes, they are, because attention span, you know what they say, it's just getting shorter and shorter and shorter every generation.
I noticed that we're trained to almost see media now in like a 60-second clip, Instagram story, or Snapchat.
Yeah.
Back then, songs, mandatory 3 verses.
Yeah.
Now it's 2. I see a lot of songs with one hook. Are you planning to kind of shorten your songs, or are you keeping like the 2 verses, 3 verses format?
Honestly, whatever feels right, because I have some long songs and I have some very short songs.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whatever, like as long as I feel like it sounds right, you know, put it out.
There's a lot of times for me where I felt that I have 1 or 2 verses, but I feel okay with it. But then I'm so used to like the standard that I keep going. Mm-hmm. A lot of times that 3rd verse, I didn't really need that. But yeah, I think now we should just go more with the flow.
Yeah.
I think that's about it, man. I think we got everything covered.
No
check
doubt.
out his music. Also, he'll be part of the Cypher Uppercut, which is coming soon. Hopefully, you sent your verse in.
Yes, definitely.
And we're working on another cover song. So, thank you very much, man.
Thank you, Vaughn.
Thanks for being on the show, man.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Man. Cool. All right. We're good. Cool. It's good, man. We got a lot covered.
Well, everybody, that's a wrap. Shout out to Vaughn.